I'm Ivy Shela Pagute. I am the DRR CCA Program Coordinator of the Urban Poor Associates.
Hi, I'm Laarni Salanga, or the community calls me Lala. I am the Livelihood Officer of Urban Poor Associates.
Hi, I'm Marlon Levido, a Senior Community Organizer of Urban Poor Associates.
Community engagement enables the affected population to be critically and effectively participate in the decision-making process to improve the quality of their lives.
For me, it's really talking and engaging and walking and living and basically immersing with the community, with the survivors of any disaster. It's beyond what we bring in the list. It's actually what we call out from our conversations with the survivors of any disasters.
During the time of Typhoon Haiyan, I am one of the community organizers sent to do the response. The community organizing that we did is that first we went to the communities that were devastated by the tidal waves, by the strong typhoon. And we get to map out who were the really affected families. Not only those who are people in the evacuation centers, but the ones who are left behind, those who did not evacuate, those families that many of their family members died. So community engagement really is going to the areas wherein the most devastated and talking to the people, knowing their stories, knowing their needs, asking what the help that they need. So response really is not really giving the packs, food packs or whatever the things, the traditional ones, but really asking the people what are the needs that they want.
It's actually the time. During disaster response, we have to be fast. But at the same time, we have to have an appropriate response. So that's actually the constraint of time. It's always a key issue. The politics in the area, that's actually one, and it's also the challenges. So how do we maximize the time? How do we become fast at the same time giving appropriate responses? Actually, the challenge.
People should know their rights, they should know their entitlements so that they can demand to the authorities, and they should know how to cross from the development to humanitarian works.
I think it should be before the disaster comes. UN OCHA should engage the community, strengthen partnership, because at the end, when we do community engagement, it's basically the people themselves must actually help themselves also. So I think that's one. In the Philippines, we call it disaster preparedness. It's beyond having propositioned goods. It's basically preparing the capacity of the people that when disaster strikes, you can help yourselves, and when needed, then you can be deployed to other area to give that help also to others.
UN can fund the local civil society organizations who do community organizing. For them to be more aware of the community dynamics, and the UN OCHA can facilitate platforms for the local CSOs to voice out their rights for recovery and the development of their community.
What OCHA can do with our experience is to make sure that the INGOs and NGOs would really consider going beyond the barangays or the LGUs, because the affected families are those families not being reached out.
What should we do differently to be more effective? For me, number one, build on local leadership capacities. support local networks and local organizations who do community organizing because they can share common capacities, and also support the community development of the organizational development of the local organizations. There should be a joint decision making between the donors and the local organizations, and there should also be an inclusive and quality funding that reaches the local organizations. And lastly, UN OCHA can support locally led responses of the people's organizations.
What we can do differently, especially this peacetime, is to really help the organizations, or if there are no organizations, start building people's organization during peace times. We should start mapping out the areas wherein they are more vulnerable to disasters. They are more exposed, so that more preparations would happen during this peacetime.
I think every disaster demands a different kind of response, and that kind of response you can actually call out if you actually have a good community engagement. So I think before disaster strikes, we should start engaging the community, getting to know them, building partnership. We shouldn't act when there's already disaster. I think the preparation should actually come before the disaster strikes. And that is one thing that I think UN OCHA and everybody in the humanitarian sector should do. Get to know the community, because you would never know when disaster happens. They will actually be the one who can actually help us do this blanket response.